Alright, RTIQ, episode 5. How's everybody doing?
Doing pretty well.
Yeah,
Nice.
pretty Gucci.
Anything exciting going on today for you guys?
Yeah, I've been spending lots of time learning about machine learning for this interview coming up. Other than that, no,
No.
literally no. That's all.
Yep, about the same. Got an M.2 job today. A little bit of difficulty putting that in. Packers just won. That's a big hype. But yeah, other than that, about the same. Not too much going on. How about you, Dogler?
I don't know. Today I just procrastinated so fucking hard. I just woke up, ate food, played COD, and then I woke up. Oh wow, it's time for the RTIQ podcast. Like, what am I gonna talk about? It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, you were
But
playing.
yeah,
You were playing COD.
yeah, I was just playing some Warzone
Warzone.
for mindless hours, and I feel disgusting. It's like I just ate a whole pizza by myself. That's how I feel right now.
I
Video
was
game equivalent of an extra large pizza that you eat by yourself.
Yeah.
personal pan pizza dog.
I feel disgusting.
How's Warzone now that the new CODs came out? Like, was there any like huge change that you noticed, or just like new guns, or?
No, I mean I like the guns that they introduced, but in terms of like sentiment, everyone says that they don't like the Cold War multiplayer when I ask them.
Okay.
So
I guess they're still playing
yeah.
Warzone, so
Yeah.
a bit of
So
survivorship bias there, I think.
yeah. But I mean I've heard it said like 5 times now in a month. So
Yeah. Nice.
yeah.
Uh, so me and I guess me, Ryan, and Jason have been picking up Valorant again. We played. Ryan played for the
Okay.
first time with us yesterday, and then me and Jason had played the day before. Have you played with us before? I forget.
Yeah, I think a couple times, and then my you know I just I don't even walk the corners. I just swing it and oh damn, I died. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll queue up with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. One of our friends, B Shanks, he hopped on last night and said he was gonna re-download it. I think it'd be cool if we could have a like solid 5 man to play like every time we played.
Yeah, we could we should maybe stream that segment of the RTIQ podcast. Like if we don't have enough time with the with our topics and stuff, we'll fill it in with some Valorant or something.
I
I
think.
think what we actually got to do is we got to do chess commentary for Matt real quick. That's
Why?
the
Yeah,
he's gonna become a chess streamer.
yeah.
Oh,
The career rate
really?
is going up, then he should be a grandmaster by I think I don't
6 months
know,
from now, right?
March or something.
Yeah. Oh, not even
Yeah,
6 months. Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Well, you went up by like 500 points yesterday or something really quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I,
Dang, is that a good 500 points?
I don't
I guess
believe
so.
so because B Shanks signed up for his account last night. I played him, and he started with 800 points,
Yeah,
and
800 is the default.
I went up 500 points, which me being up 500 points put me at like a 900 score or something. So I was only 100 above like starter, like new account.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
It's
I've been watching Queen's Gambit, so I've been back looking into chess again.
My
Pretty
girl
fun.
Enya.
Yeah. Have you watched it? You said.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
it. I watched the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm on like episode 5 right now. I believe I have 2 more to go. And dude, it's actually been really good. Like I usually don't get emotional like watching movies or anything like that, but there was like some weird feelings. I'm like, yeah, you go, fucking Beth, like beat those guys' asses after they doubted you.
so much. There's so much of that, like the visceral satisfaction you get from seeing this, redhead with their, never mind. The just beat the shit out of all these dudes who oh are you sure you don't want to go for the beginner section?
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, it's definitely wholesome. Rooting for the underdog the whole time,
No.
and yeah, she's having some problems it seems now, with her addictions.
Mm-hmm.
But what orphan wouldn't?
Especially
so wait,
orphans, where
you're
like the first thing that they give you when you walk in the door is like, hey, here's some vitamins, minerals, and stimulant, not stimulants, depressants, real quick. Just
Yeah.
okay. Hold
it's
on.
I,
What
I love how
episode?
I love how they framed it as well. Whenever she walked in, it's like, oh yeah, this one's for your healthy, sound and body, healthy body, and this one's for your like moral fortitude or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, prevent literal children from acting out by just making them drugged up all the time. No, so that
What,
checks out as some like 1950s shit. Not gonna lie.
what episode are you on, Craig? Like, describe
um
the most recent episode, like the
You were in
beginning of it or
Mexico,
something.
weren't you?
um
Like,
no, so when she was in Mexico, that's when her mom died. I just finished earlier, maybe at like 4 p.m. episode 5, and she had just beat like the dude that she had shared the US co-championship with.
Okay.
The like
fucking trench coat, dude.
yeah, trench coat boy. um and yeah, I'm sure
Okay.
something else happened after that, but yeah, that's where I think episode 5 ended off.
Nice. Nice.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the show is really tightly written, and I really like it. But there's a couple of things that like come up at some point in the show that just never fucking come up again. Like,
Like,
y'all have heard of Chekhov's gun, right? Like that concept.
mm-hmm.
You know?
No, I have
Yeah,
not.
it's like it's just like a short little quote by an author that said, like, so some Anton Chekhov, I think his name was, that if you introduce a gun in chapter 1, it should go off by like chapter 5.
Oh.
Yeah, like if you're just gonna point out there's a gun on the wall, then it should be shot. And so likewise, then I think the trench coat boy had this scene where he was like, he had this dagger in his pocket, and Beth was like, "Why do you have a dagger?" And he's like, "For protection." And it never comes up again.
From what? Whatever.
Oh,
It's like,
damn! I
yeah,
didn't
this
even
this
notice that.
glorious 4-inch dagger or whatever this dude has in his pocket the whole time.
Oh, that's when they
People
first meet in
storming
that
the
lobby
local
area.
chess tournament. No, I think it's he was like promoting like or being interviewed by like some little kid, and kid's like, well, how do you get better? And he was like, well, you read my book and exercise or work out. And like Beth hears him and kind of like chuckles and walks away, and he sees her, and he runs over, and she's like, yo, can I ask you a question? And like he's kind of like hesitant, like, yeah, sure. She's like, why do you carry that knife? And he's like, for protection. She's like, from what? He's like, from whatever.
Dude,
It's
But
are
like,
we
yeah,
watching the? I just don't remember that. Why don't I remember that?
but what I was thinking is
it's
like, okay,
insignificant, but
it's like at this point I was thinking like by chapter like 8, that knife is gonna be in someone's ribs. I know it,
yeah,
but never comes up again.
like he's gonna get mad and stab somebody after losing or something. And but yeah, it's a solid show. It's well written. I like it so far. Very few. I feel like Netflix is putting out like a shit ton of content, and not all of it is top tier. I've seen like a few Netflix originals, and some have been, pretty good. And then some not so good. Did you guys ever watch You?
Yeah, I watched that.
No, it's a pretty good one as well. It's pretty good. I would put this up there with that.
You finished it?
Yeah, both seasons.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. They came with like the same. They kind of recycled it with like Hannibal. Or I mean, no, not Hannibal. What was the other one? Dexter. It's
hmm.
kind of like Dexter, is it not?
I've never seen Dexter, so I'm not sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I watched Dexter. I remember that was the show I watched when I was like a freshman, and I was doing all my I was doing my programming work, but like the stuff that wasn't that difficult. There was the hard stuff and not hard stuff. When I was doing the not hard stuff, I would just like sit on my little futon in my room and watch Dexter for like 10 episodes, like 4 episodes at a time or whatever, just until I'm done with this assignment. And that so I don't remember shit about that show except like a few pivotal moments whenever I actually paid attention. But
yeah. They kind of just like use this whole like obsession like of relationships between two people. That's what it was. That's like you and Dexter, like
Yeah,
in like one sentence. But yeah, and
but
like a bunch of killing too. So I mean, yeah, they're very similar.
yeah.
but yeah, I would highly recommend Queen's Gambit. And yeah, Ryan, what was that show that you were mentioning earlier today that you had picked up?
It's called Arsene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, yeah, I was telling Matt there was this French author called Maurice Leblanc that came up with this like gentleman thief character back in like the late 1800s, I think. And yeah, his name is Arsène Lupin or something like that. I don't know. I don't speak French, but the I was telling him about like this famous case of copyright infringement as well. Um, there was during he as this book was getting more popular about this like gentleman thief named Arsène Lupin, then he wrote like a crossover fan fiction basically with his own character and also the far more famous Sherlock Holmes from England. And then he got sued over it because he did not have permission to use Sherlock Holmes at the time. It was a low key case of copyright infringement from the late 1800s, and I think that's hilarious. But then, yeah, that's in the public domain, so they're now going to recast this gentleman thief as this Senegalese dude trying to steal some stuff in Paris. My first episode was pretty good. It had like the same thing that a lot of those crime shows have, where you have like the heist slowly build up to the very end, and then that like cuts to everything that actually happened that made it possible.
Mm.
Which is whenever that's what that sort of scene is done well, I fucking love that shit, dude. Like actually when I planted this, it was actually the fake, but I switched it up the real one this last second, and then it was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Looking forward to more.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out as well. I've been really getting into watching like movies and shows lately, where like previously, you know, the only time I ever watched TV or anything like that was when I was like going to sleep. So yeah, I'm excited to watch some new stuff. I got plenty of streaming platforms to check out different shows. You know, I got Hulu, HBO Max, Netflix, Disney Plus. So yeah. There's this one show on Hulu. It's about pharmacy. I forget the name of it. I'd have to look it up, but apparently it's supposed to be really good. Someone in class recommended it, and I looked it up, and it looked, interesting just from like the trailer and like reviews I had seen of it. I'll definitely let you guys know how that one is. I'll start watching it. Yeah. Douglas, are you watching anything currently?
Not really. I mean, sometimes like if I have free time, I usually like. I mean, I've watched everything I wanted to watch on Netflix. Sometimes I browse on it. There's really nothing that I'm too interested in. Like, even the show that Ryan was like describing, I didn't really fully recognize or like recognize like what he was like which show he was saying in Netflix, but I watched the first episode after he said it, after like he described it a little bit more. I
Yeah.
was like, no, dude, the first episode it started annoying me, honestly, because I'm so impatient. But yeah, I do like those heist shows, like fucking what is it? Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13. Those are my favorite ones.
Okay. Which show did you watch?
The like movies, Ocean's. Well, there's like 3 Oceans: 11, 12, 13. It's like a heist movie.
Oh yeah, okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about something else. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. I think he was saying that he had watched the first episode of the show, the Arsenal show that you were
like, I don't
mentioning.
know. I'm just too impatient to like. After I figured out that it was like a TV series, I was like, no, I'm too impatient. I can only watch movies and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on like the scrolling or like browsing through Netflix. I feel like I often do that and just like give up on Netflix because I don't know, it just seems overloaded, and a lot of the stuff that they promote I've either already seen or it just doesn't look interesting. And
I mean the international like selection is pretty good.
yeah, I've heard people recommend that because I've heard like a lot of people are dissatisfied or they have the same opinion where like they feel Netflix is kind of like just getting stale, not like too interesting, like, especially for the price. I guess I think it's like what $20 or $25 a month now for like the like top tier Netflix.
Or maybe it's not that
and
they're getting stale. Maybe our standards are getting higher, and they just can't pump out enough like good
Mm,
quality stuff.
or maybe a little bit of both. But yeah, I've definitely heard people say about the international thing. Just get a VPN and put yourself in France or England or wherever, and you'll get new or like refreshing content that isn't available in other places.
Yeah.
So how'd you do on the stock market this week, Toggler? Any good trades or stories?
Uh, well, I made my rent this week, so that's good.
That's solid. Yeah.
Oh, but the stock market's probably gonna dip like 2%. And one of our topics was like military deployed in DC. I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
I feel there's gonna be a bigger like event like unfolding because I mean I think the market's pricing in like the highest degree of civil unrest.
You think there's
Uh,
gonna be a bigger event like within the market or like
no, like
political?
yeah, in sync. Like in general, there's gonna be like an event because people are like taking loads of money out of the market right now. Or I mean on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean I think there's gonna be at least a 2 or 3% drop
Okay.
soon, and then probably a big rally after February. I feel like.
Makes
But yeah,
sense.
that's just
Does
my thoughts.
have you like looked at trends of like previous like inauguration years? Just to, like
No, I'm not really.
compare or
I don't really look at that because sometimes, like this year is you can't really compare this year to anything else. That's why everything is the trends are so accelerated. Or I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not even comparing it. I'm just like looking at the volume
okay.
in which like
Yeah.
prices are just going down. So
Yeah, yeah. That makes
yeah,
sense. Um yeah, this year, last year,
but yeah,
whatever.
you should be happy, dude. It's alt season for crypto. Everyone's like piling into alts.
Dude, so alt says okay, yeah. Um I was gonna say I saw a tweet with like Bitcoin projections today, and they weren't looking too hot. Um, but hell, if Bitcoin wants to take a little bit of a dip and altcoin surge, go for it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely take that. I've been holding on to an altcoin called Golem. Like I guess it's uh getting close to 4 years now, and I think my position's only worth like around $200 right now, but at a peak, when I had like nearly the same amount, it was worth like 1,500. So,
Wow.
um, yeah, I wouldn't mind making a little bit on top of that. So, hey, we'll see. Bitcoin, dude. I think since last week's podcast, Bitcoin had like a 20% dip, and then
Damn.
it leveled back out and came back up to close to 40K. Last time I looked today, it was sitting at 36K per coin.
Wow.
But man, there were a lot of people panic selling when it was at 40K and then dipped. I think it hit like 28K at one point. Um, Maybe somewhere around there. And I actually bought some Bitcoin at that
Okay.
price, and yeah, so we'll see
Nice.
how that goes. Um, yeah. Speaking of something, a big event happening, any projections from you guys on what's gonna happen this week? Got the inauguration coming up on Wednesday. I've seen there's been some precautionary measures. Jason was telling me today that the Amtrak is not running south of Virginia. I didn't even know that Amtrak ran that far. Um, but he said that it was still going to be operable from like New York to DC. And I was joking, saying, "Oh, they're going to let all the blue states come, but not the red states." um,
Dude,
but
they
but
the people that were going to like the 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 rally slash protest slash siege on January
ter-
6th, they didn't
terrorist
let
attack.
certain people to go take the flight over there. Like
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. So
I don't know
you're
what the right
probably
call
right.
is. But I saw Airbnb canceled everyone's reservations for like I don't know if it was for the whole week or just inauguration day. So they refunded like everybody that had made a reservation, but also paid the like landlords, whatever they're called. So looks like Airbnb took a little bit of hit on that. I saw an article saying that somebody had been arrested today for carrying a loaded gun into like a checkpoint that they'd set up in DC. I'm sure we've all seen the pictures of like the National Guard sleeping in Congress.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I hope nothing happens. I hope it goes all smoothly, but it would be entertaining, I guess. I say that lightly. If something
A little
goes
bit of
off,
blood.
yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah,
uh,
I mean, I think something's probably going to happen. I don't think it's as severe as like some of the worst fears are right now that
mhm.
of what will actually will happen. But I don't know. Hopefully I won't be eating my words this time next week.
Oh man,
The
I was Helen.
I don't know. It seems like enough people who would have thought about pulling some shit will have seen how little the last thing accomplished for like their cause,
Yep.
and would then go to like, all right, well, we might show up with like a protest or something, but we're not going to do anything like that. Absolutely not. And I don't know, because people are unpredictable, and I think that it's a kind of a stat that I heard once that you don't need more than 2 or 3% of a protest to be like really violent people that just are actively stirring up shit in
Yep.
order to get like to start a proper riot.
Yeah.
And so literally, if like one of every 20 people show up wanting to start shit, and like one of every 100 has a gun or a Molotov or something on them, then very rapidly you could have a really dastardly situation.
Yeah.
I'm I'm kind of near an area where certain things may go down,
Hmm.
but I don't suspect it's going to be anywhere nearly as grim as um like what I'd expect in DC or certain other state capitals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess
Um.
expect. So what might happen? I think that hopefully nothing too bad will happen.
I mean, I don't think like if something were to happen, I don't think they would accomplish it because no one cares. No one cares about if Biden's gonna be president. I feel like if someone, I mean, someone did die. Like someone, that lady got shot, and like no one fucking cares. No one wants to look into whatever voter issues that came by. And
Mm.
like, oh, today the My Pillow guy was seen like at the White House, and then like there was like this document that that was
Zoomed in on.
snapshotted
Yep.
a little bit, and then like it said something about like election or voter issues, and like the insurrection. There was a word insurrection on the paper,
Yep.
but it was like cut in half, so interpretation was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
very
So
high.
so what happened was he went to the Oval Office yesterday, and I think it was either the New York Times or LA Times took a snapshot of him, and in his hand was like a little transcript or something that he had wrote up. It seemed that he was wanting to speak with Trump about, and upon zooming in on it, it had, like you said, you could read like half of the page because his hand was like curled around the other half, and there were like some key terms on there like voter interference and or election interference from foreign countries, and it said I think it said China and Iran on there. It said something about insurrection, martial law, and something else. And I don't think it was a huge story. Like I saw it, and then I saw like boycotts being thrown around, or calls for boycotts of My Pillow, and then Bed Bath and Beyond, because I think they're like the top seller or one of the top sellers of My Pillow, and yeah.
That's why their stock went up like 10% or some shit.
Oh, actually.
Yeah, they sunk on earnings and then they just had a rally up to $26. I'm like, what the hell? I missed this. I
Yeah.
fucking missed it.
Bonkers, dude.
Dang.
I don't know. I think the people who are probably at this point, like the My Pillow guy is so infamous. I can't imagine that there are very many people who would boycott him who haven't already.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know anything about him. Like this week is the first time I've ever seen his ad about
Oh,
My Pillow.
he's an interesting guy. I've watched like a little like documentary on him. He used to be like um really bad into drugs. He was like a crackhead or meth head or something. And
Oh, like Hunter, right?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, we ain't gonna
and
talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about his laptop. We ain't gonna talk about China.
bro, he didn't pick it up because he forgot about it, bro. He's just so cracked out. Like, he didn't remember. You know, he dropped it off.
Yeah, it was the only thing on his mind was like Chinese spy feed.
Yeah. But yeah, the guy turned his life around after Jesus spoke to him or something, and you know, he was there one day, couldn't sleep well because of his darn pillow, and you know, made his own pillow and yeah, called it my pillow. Oh man.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, I think he's. I was gonna say his name was Chuck Liddell, but that's not it. That's a fighter. I forget his name.
Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not even.
That's not even close. Speaking of fighters, we got a big fight coming up this Saturday with Conor McGregor and Poirier. You guys gonna be down to watch it in Discord?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
dude.
watch it with you.
Yeah. I don't know. Saturday, 23rd. That sound right? Saturday. Yeah, 1 week from today. And it'll probably be on at like 8 p.m. at night. Maybe a little. Oh, we'll be doing a podcast. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
We'll just have our reactions to it or something. We'll stream our reactions.
Yeah, did you guys ever see the guy on Twitch that streamed one of the UFC fights, and he was sitting there like this the whole time, as if he's playing the game, just streaming it. He had like 100,000 viewers at one point or something.
Oh really? Shit.
Yeah. And you know, just playing UFC 21 or whatever the fuck it was. Oh man. But yeah, I'm interested to see that fight. You know, Connor's probably the biggest name in the sport, or at least was at one point. Khabib being the other one. I don't know if either one of you follow UFC that much, but Khabib retired after the last UFC fight he had because of his father. He died, and however, one of his father's dreams was for Khabib to finish 30-0. And I think that's what Dana White, president of the UFC, was, you know, trying to push him to come back for one more fight and possibly more. And there was video of them speaking, and I think I saw an article on ESPN saying that, you know, he was potentially considering coming back for that 30th fight. So that would be huge.
Wait.
UFC news.
It's too expensive for it not to happen.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Yeah.
It's like the next Star Wars movie. Like, there's too much money on the line at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
There's this one fighter that I do like. His name is Israel Adesanya.
yeah.
You know him? Yeah, dude, I love his style. He's
Yep.
so sick, dude.
I don't know much
I
about
think
him, but I
people
know
can't
of
beat
him.
him. Like the people that I've seen him fight, they just can't fight him because he has that reach. I don't know. It's like he seems really unmatched. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only person I know of really in the UFC.
But yeah, that's gonna be pretty hype. Other sporting news, I guess we got the playoffs for football going on. Packers just won, and I think the other game tonight is Chiefs. I think. No, it's the Ravens and the Bills. So that'd be a pretty big game. Hoping the Bills win. Yeah. You guys So Ryan, I saw you had a topic on there about your favorite games of 2020.
Yeah, so
Um,
just it was something I was curious about because obviously we've played a lot of our games together during 2020, but just like of all the things you played, what did you enjoy the most? What did you probably play the most?
what I played the
Any
most?
other good standouts for
Um,
last year?
I would guess that the game I played the most is probably Valorant or Rust. I feel like I didn't really get into Rust until like the later part of the year. Um, and then Valorant, I feel like we played from like the middle of the year until like I don't know, October maybe, November.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess those are my top two games for the year. I didn't really play many single player games. Um, and yeah, I don't know. 2020 was a weird year for me, like gaming wise, because I didn't have like a go to game. Um, where like in years previous, since 2015, I've either been playing Counter Strike or Rust as like my main game throughout the year, and neither one of those were like huge for me in 2020. But yeah, how about you guys?
Just Warzone.
Warzone?
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah, so I guess for Valorant played quite a lot of that. Um, I remember there's a few games that I just like would pick up and in my spare time just play for way too many hours and then put them back down.
Mm-hmm.
There was I played Xenoblade Chronicles, a
Mm-hmm.
game that Jason highly praises. That I definitely had a um sorry, but yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I remember like I picked up RimWorld and I just played the shit out of it for maybe like 2 weeks. I
Yeah.
probably played like more than 30 hours or something in those 2 weeks, and then I just put it down. I
Wow.
haven't touched it since.
Okay.
Then there was that was in addition to all the other shit that we were playing. So
Yeah.
that was bad news. I picked up like Civ, played that, and we played that a bit as well. But then I like had a single player game going as well that I just played exactly one in like a day, and then put that game down.
Yeah.
And then I really enjoyed Among Us whenever didn't stress me out. Whenever I didn't get imposter 6 times in a row, that was a important little point. But
Dude,
I'm glad.
that's a good problem. At
Yeah,
least from my standpoint. I would hate when, I wouldn't be imposter, but you on the
yeah.
other hand wanted to be crewmate.
I just want to be crewmate. I don't want to lie, dude. I'm not good at it. I need to record myself or something to see what I sounded like whenever I was lying because apparently it was so
And
fucking
Jason would be like,
noticeable
"Oh."
with you and Jason. Immediately, as soon as I started talking, it's like it's Ryan.
Yeah.
It's like
I didn't really notice
in
it.
me. The reason I stopped playing fucking Among Us was when I was imposter and Matt said, "Hey, could you say a full sentence for us real quick?" I'm like, all right, well,
You see, I never noticed like a voice change in you, but Jason would say it and you would react, so I just kept going with it. So every time I wasn't sure, I'd be like, "Oh, his voice is changing." But Jason, I'm sure like genuinely could like tell if you were an imposter or not.
The thing is, the accuracy wasn't like 100% either. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'd get falsely accused of it. But the fact that it was even a thing tilted me so much. Like, oof, that was rough. Like, Daniel would do the same thing as well. And that's one thing that ticked me off about him so much is that he'd only have like maybe 60% accuracy in that, whatever he'd say it.
Yep.
But just the fact that he'd say that would
Yeah.
pulling my hair out real quick.
Dogler's camera is purposefully um blurred to hide his identity. He may or may not have been a part of the insurrection that happened. So he is no. He just doesn't want to be identified, I guess. But yeah, Among Us was definitely a top tier game of 2020. I definitely enjoyed that when we were able to pull a full lobby every night. It kind of started dying off for me when we could only get like 6 or 7, even 8 people to play. But yeah, you had the thing with your voice. For me, I just felt like everybody had something for me.
Bias.
Yeah, it's a bias towards me because a lot of the nights, a majority of the people that were playing were like people that were in the Discord that like just knew me, right?
Yeah, the only con factor was you of
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
there.
yeah. So I was the common denominator. And then, when we would play with certain people, Mr. Bradley, for example, he would just somehow fucking con his way into blaming me, and people would listen. Or my favorite was, one time we were playing on I think it's called Acropolis, the like snowy
Oh,
outs or yeah, the snowy outside map. And I was imposter. It was like the first time I had been imposter all night, and I was fucking hyped. And I was running around. I don't think I had killed anyone yet, or if I had, it only been one person. And we were in a meeting, and Jason's dumbass was like, "Oh, hey guys, you guys want to know something? I saw a red vent." And the dude had not seen me the whole time. He had not seen me the whole time. I never vented that round or anything, and luckily I was able to turn it around on him, and he ended up getting voted out. So, but just the way like he threw it out was so golden. Like it was fucking perfect. Oh man. But yeah, hopefully, you know, Among Us will get like some big update where we'll get people wanting to play again, and maybe we can have a night or a few where we can get back into that. Because it's definitely fun, definitely top tier entertainment.
And hopefully, whenever Jason and I get some more progress on our project, then we can
Yeah,
get
that
the
is
game
what
together, do some play testing. It's gonna be great.
you wanna speak about that. Give us some
I
ideas,
don't
or
want to give too many details away, but we kind of had it was Among Us inspired, but like we're really trying not to just straight up copy it.
yeah.
Like if it's pulling in some stuff from Among Us, some stuff from Town of Salem, but like also the theme is completely different from either of them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's what we have so far that we're pretty sure we want to implement is it would be like a different maps would be different themes. Like
Mhm.
it would the whole premise is a kind of it's a movie set, and we have one theme that's like cowboys and outlaws. Another one that's like um
Cops and robbers.
a medieval king, and then
Okay.
half loyalists and rebels.
Okay.
And you have to and there's a few different themes that have completely different rules. Like the king will randomly like a king's an NPC who the rebels have to kill, and they have to break into the front door by like doing some other tasks to weaken the defenses.
Mhm.
And then they have to kill and ran every single round, like every few minutes, he'll issue a random edict that will like change the rules of the game for the next round. So it's pretty cool. I think a zero guarantee that we'll actually be able to implement this, but I thought it was golden whenever Jason brought up the idea.
So you joined.
Yeah, like this podcast where I literally just invited my own ass in. Like you guys were telling me, yeah, okay, we're thinking about doing a podcast, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'll be there.
Me too.
I'll be there every episode.
Every episode. And likewise, whenever Jason said, yeah, so I'm doing this thing, and like, oh, interesting, I'm doing this thing.
Wow.
And sure enough, he sent me the invite to the repo, so we're gonna be
That's sick.
working on that.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm excited. I hope you guys can do great things and get it off the ground, and how dope would that be if we, play a game that you guys made?
Yeah, it would be cool.
Sick, yeah.
I made exactly one game so far, and it's kind of shit, but like it works. And I fucking lost it. I don't know where the repo. I think the repo got deleted whenever I lost access to my email address from college.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could find it again, then I'll have to bully you guys into trying it. But oh,
Hey. So it looks like Among Us is coming out with a new map called the Airship, according to Lulu.
yeah, I saw some of that.
Might be worth checking out. I hadn't seen it at all. So might have to try and gather some people up and play one night. I got you guys got any games that you're looking forward to? I feel like I've asked this before, but for me there's 3 games. There's MLB The Show 21 or 22. What I don't understand the years on these. But that should be being announced sometime in February according to their Twitter account the other day. There is a game called, I think it's Icarus or Survival of Icarus or something like that, which is basically just another survival game, sort of like Rust, but also like a Tarkov mix. So if you guys aren't familiar with Rust, you can basically get raided in like any point, right? So you have a sleeper while you're in game or offline, so people can kill you and take your shit, whether you're playing or not. And then DayZ, or not DayZ, Escape from Tarkov, you can only really lose stuff when you're actually playing when you go into a raid. And I think Icarus is trying to take like examples from both of those games and put it into a survival game, which I think sounds really cool. And then thirdly, New World, that RPG game made by Amazon, is supposed to come out in May, I believe. And I think it looks pretty interesting. Other people have different opinions, Jason. And yeah, those are the three games I'm
It's
excited
gonna be
for.
great as long as you don't you're not the Parlor CEO, in which case you can't play it.
Yeah.
If you have a Parlor account, then you're automatically banned from New World. Yeah. So what do we got? Was there anything else? I'm trying to remember because like I haven't really been following. Though the only game that I legitimately would buy the second it comes out is Metroid Prime 4.
Okay.
For reference, Metroid Prime 1 was like 2001, 2 was like 2003, and then 4 was like 2006 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, 2007. And so I don't know when, and we've been talking about how this game has been in development hell. Like
Yeah.
they had like an almost finished game almost ready to start, doing the final testing and whatnot. And they just threw it all out because it was garbage. Like I remember that was 2 years ago, so they completely restarted. And I hope that someday my grandchildren will get to play Metroid Prime 4 on the Nintendo Ultra Switch 420
Oh yes.
Series
Ultra
X.
Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, Diamond and Pearl remake rumored to be coming. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remake for 2021 possibly. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might get that. Not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun with Diamond and Pearl. That was the Did you have either of those when you were a kid?
I had one, maybe both. I forget.
Yeah.
I
Remember, I had a
definitely
Pearl. My
had
sister had
Diamond.
Diamond. That was
Okay.
fun.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't even think I had a childhood, to be honest.
You're just spawned
Unknown.
into adolescence.
Yeah, let me tell you. Here's a very goofy Pokemon Pearl related narrative that I would like to share with you guys. So back when I was a kid, then I had Pokemon Pearl, and I also had another friend who also had Pokemon Pearl. Now, yeah, we were talking about this, and we would talk about a game as we went through, and eventually I beat it. And I also had Pokemon Emerald, and so I transferred a few because you could do that in the DS where you could transfer games over, Pokemon over.
Yep.
And so I got quite a few of those that way. And so I had everything on this Pokemon Pearl card. So later, my sister would like to play it, right? She wants to play my Pokemon Pearl game because she wants to decide if she wants to get Pokemon Diamond. So okay, well, you can do it. Just make sure you don't save. It will give you like a special warning to not save over my file. And then it's fine. And sure enough, she never wants. Every time she didn't want to play anymore, she just closed the DS and keep it plugged in. And it was great. So she got maybe like the second gym or something. But eventually, I thought it would be cool if I could. I'll actually try to get a little further because she's stuck on like some section at that point. So I opened it up at night. I wasn't supposed to play my DS after bedtime, but okay, I can do what I want. Um, so I was playing this game. I got past a certain section, and then just reflexively I pressed the save button,
Oh no.
and I was horrified. I was so sad that I destroyed my glorious game of Pokemon Pearl that had been there for so long. I was like, "Ah, whatever. I'll play a different game like whenever because that was the main. I didn't have any consoles right then. I don't really. The only computer game I had was like Roller Coaster Tycoon and Reader Rabbit.
Hey.
Um, So I pop with the cartridge and go to get, I don't know, I think I had Pokemon Blue Rescue Team or something. And what I see in my case is another copy of Pokemon Pearl.
Okay.
So I take it, I plug it in, and it's my game. It's the game with my level 100 Rayquaza from my Pokemon Emerald. And so now I have 2 copies of Pokemon Pearl. I have no idea where the other one came from. I think I might have accidentally stolen one of my friend's copies, but instead, yeah, my friend who also Pokemon, so it wasn't his. And he was talking about it. It's like, yeah, so I think this is the magical grassy mailboxes. Don't think too far into that because it doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
It's his conspiracy about where these extra games come from because he had the same thing happen with some GameCube game that he had.
Hmm.
The magical grassy mailboxes would bring us an extra copy of Pokemon Pearl and like Super Monkey Ball
Oh my god.
Deluxe, and that's literally that's what happened. So I don't know what happened to the second copy. I think it just came in to specifically save me from my own stupidity once and then leave my life forever. So now I checked it again, and I brought my DS in earlier from home, and sure enough, it still works, and I still have my level 100 Rayquaza named
Oh,
Snaky Boy.
named what? Snaky
Snaky
Boy.
Boy.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have any games that I'm looking forward to. I think the last time, like when I was like really, motivated or like had the ambition to be like a streamer or anything would be like Cyberpunk. And
Mm.
then now it comes out, it's like it's a pile of shit. It's a big old pile of shit.
I've heard it's
So I mean,
okay.
I don't trust these like
Like,
releases and shit. I
Yep.
really don't. I'll let it surprise me if it gets released and I like it. I'll go get the game, but I'm not gonna look forward to a game because they're probably just gonna throw out some shit anyway. So
adding
just
to
whatever.
that, I don't think I'm ever pre-ordering a game again. I just
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I've heard it for years, like, oh, you shouldn't pre-order a game because that's how, a dev team can monitor or like see like how well pre-orders are doing, and that may affect their like desire to, complete the game or not, So you may be pre-ordering it and they look at pre-orders and they're not doing too hot and they just give up, basically. I don't know how true that is, but I definitely see that. And with games now, I feel like, especially AAA titles, I feel like it's more of let's do this as a business move, which I understand, rather than let's give the consumer a like memorable experience.
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, I think pre-orders never happening again for me. And I'll wait until release day or seeing some other people play it before picking it up.
From what I've heard, Cyberpunk isn't like it's the narrative's fine. Like the a lot of the stuff is functional. It
Hmm.
just it just needs more time in the oven.
Yeah.
The so I think that's good. It's at least good that like fundamentally it's not such a garbage experience that will be relegated to the dustbin of history. It just like I remember how bad I think Battlefield 3 was when it first came out. Like just the sheer number of bugs in that game. And I think so same with Battlefield 4, they had just so many glitches and then they ironed them out. And I think Battlefield 4 was one of my favorite shooters whenever it was big.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
Battlefield
It's
3 and 4 were sick.
yeah.
Me,
And they're
Dogler, do you remember us playing that back in the day?
Which
Dogler,
one?
3 and 4, or I guess 3.
Yeah, I remember
Me,
playing.
you, Breeze, Tubster on Xbox.
Oh yeah.
And then I remember like when Battlefield 4 was announced, you had like dedicated your YouTube channel to like being a Battlefield 4 YouTube channel, and then I don't think you ever did anything with it. I remember how hyped you were about that, but yeah.
But yeah, I love Battlefield. Yeah,
yeah.
it's always good.
The it was the first game I ever spent like what $90 or whatever the game plus the premium pass
Like
was.
the hardened edition or whatever.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. I got I got the premium upgrade after I bought the full game, and I was like, "Ugh, this is dumb as shit. Why would I do this? Why would I spend like $100 or whatever on this game?"
Yeah.
But sure enough, it was worth it. It was fun as hell.
Thank you for the sub, Jason. Appreciate it, homie.
Hey.
But yeah, Douglas, have you? I've seen news of PUBG 2, possibly being in the works, or maybe confirmed being in the works. Have you heard anything about this? Since you were a huge PUBG fan.
No. I mean, well, PUBG 2. Oh
Yeah.
man, I don't even like the sound of that.
I don't know if it's gonna be called PUBG 2, but
I mean, even the title, or even like the notion of like making another PUBG. I mean,
It's like battle royales.
maybe
First of all,
that's
they're
good.
fucking done. But second of
Yeah.
all, like they've advanced so far beyond PUBG at this point.
yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, PUBG and PUBG 2 might have been dope in like 2015, but
Yeah, I mean like Warzone, like that's like the top tier like battle royale right now. What
yeah.
could they do more than Warzone? Like they
I
can't.
I agree. Warzone, I think, is the best implementation of battle royale ever. I'm not a fan of Warzone myself, but I understand like its greatness. I understand why it pulls so many players and all the things that it does well. But I don't know. I'm sure, who was it? Bluehole Studios, is that who made PUBG? Something like that. I'm
What's
sure
his name though?
I'm sure they could make improvements over PUBG, and possibly find something to add to make it different than you know the original, because I think PUBG was a good game, right?
I mean, it was for its time. That's it.
I think it'd be good today, if it was like up to the standards of today's battle royales.
Okay, well then they need to revamp their graphics.
Yeah, it's
They need to like iron out all these like the game needs to feel faster in terms of movement because you just like walk for
uh,
fucking 10 minutes
I felt like
for
that
a
was
circle.
that
Like,
was one of the things with PUBG, is I felt like it had a good pace to it.
I
And
mean,
maybe that's the personal preference. I don't like these like current like fast paced games, like Call of Duty, Cold War and Modern Warfare. I feel like they're too fast paced, and when before Cold War came out, I was really hyped. I was like, oh, they're gonna return. It's Treyarch. They've always made good CODs, excluding maybe Black Ops 4. I didn't buy that one. Um, and I was really let down because at the time I didn't really like Modern Warfare that much. Um, and I was like, there's no way it can be as bad as Modern Warfare, but it's worse than Modern Warfare, dude. And I actually like Modern Warfare now. Um, you know, I, I'm catching myself saying now. But when I look back at it, I feel like Modern Warfare was an okay game compared to what Cold War is now. So that's my 2 cents on COD. I don't know if I'll ever buy another COD again, especially with how they're like trending towards participation trophies almost. I feel like they want everybody to have a 1 KD when it comes to like multiplayer. The skill based matchmaking is it's so much influence in the game with skill based. Like if you have one good game, then your next 3 are going to be terrible. Kill streaks aren't even kill streaks anymore. They're not even score streaks really. It's based off a score, but you don't even have to get a kill to get points towards it. Like
for
there,
participation streaks.
yeah, yeah. Like they're called eliminations, and elimination means you like get rid of something or kill something, right? But you get eliminations in Cold War by like getting 2 assists or something. Like, come on,
Close
like
enough.
I'm not getting like those aren't kills. Like I could have 10 eliminations and have 0 kills the whole game.
You have a situation where the death of one person will result in the generation of like 5 eliminations, and then yeah, you're artificially inflating the number of those as well, which is
Yeah.
regrettable.
Jason said they're adding league play soon. I'm not opposed to league play. League play in Black Ops 2 was really good. like they implemented it really well. But if you're gonna have a league play, take out skill-based matchmaking for multiplayer. There's no reason to have both, in my opinion. If you're gonna put people with like-minded play styles or skill levels together, like give them a rank for it, but otherwise don't force it on everyone. Like some people don't just want to play casually and
turn their brain off,
not.
use the dual wield like revolvers or some shit, and just goof off. Like it's
Yeah, like people maybe you want to run around with a knife only, and you can't do that if you have a high skill skill based matchmaking rank. But yeah, I guess we'll see if they do that. If they take out verbal tick, if they take out skill based matchmaking, I might actually play some matchmaking on Call of Duty. Plus, they got a new DLC coming out. I think DLC 1's coming out in February the 4th. Sometime in February. I don't know where I saw that date at.
fair enough.
So that plane crashed and that lifted off from Indonesia. I had it as one of my topics for this week, but I never looked into it any further. I remember seeing that it was missing, and that's when I wrote the topic down. And then I think it was later confirmed, either that same day or maybe the next day, that it had crashed. And I was like, oh, it's not really worth looking into, like plane crash. But Ryan, you were saying like your favorite, or I don't know about favorite.
That was a meme. We're not actually gonna.
But
it was making the joke. We're each gonna first we bring up our favorite games, and then we bring up our favorite aviation disasters. But I don't think I have any favorite aviation disasters. Not gonna lie.
I have one.
There are a few that are a little bit like, wow, that's really interesting. But now you're like, wow, that's awesome.
Okay. Well, okay. Instead of saying my most favorite, what is the most interesting aviation disaster to you? For me, it'd be that MH. I think it's MH370 plane that I think it took off from Malaysia, or was en route to Malaysia from Australia, something like that, and it disappeared. And I don't think there's like an official confirmation of what like happened to it either. I believe that they've assumed that some plane parts have washed up on shore on like some islands off the coast of Australia or somewhere around there, Southeast Asia. But I think nothing official. And what if, I think we can all assume that it crashed, but what if it didn't crash, dude? Like there was tons of conspiracy theories surrounding it when it first happened, whether it be aliens or maybe it was hijacked and flew like below radar to like some terrorist organization's like encampment or whatever.
And I feel that they'd be trying to make as much money out of their hostages as they could right then, instead of just like, well, I guess we have these people now.
They could have wasted them all and used the plane as a weapon.
Maybe they tried to do that, but like they were just really bad at their job.
Oh man, yeah, that's my most interesting aviation disaster.
I already told Matt about this, Doug, but have you ever heard of Aloha Airlines flight 243? By a chance?
Is that having? I don't know why. Is that having to do with Lost?
Not quite.
Okay.
Not a bad guess though, but this is something that actually happened.
Okay.
So
that's what happened to MH370. It's just it's out there on an island that is hidden.
I don't understand this first bit about the lore of Lost. Like it seems like it legit seems like a fucking anime plot line that's going on in this show.
But, well, what is it? Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So yeah, imagine you're literally just like sitting on your first class cabin directly behind the the cabin, the cockpit of the plane. And you're hanging out. You got your stewardess serving coffee to you, and then suddenly the entire roof of the plane just tears off. It just peels off from in flight at what's that?
Cruising altitude like
Yeah,
28,000
basically
feet.
cruising altitude, and you see the ceiling. Like your eardrums are probably bleeding from the massive decompression, and the stewardess who was just serving you coffee is no longer there. Luckily, you remember to keep your seatbelt fastened, so you're still there. But then you just, for the rest of the flight, then they just have to like find the nearest airport and get down. It was an interesting story. Like
The hell?
it was so yeah. Look it up. Look at the picture. Aloha Airline Flight 2243, and there's a picture of the actual airplane with just the entire ceiling is just stripped away. Um, But yeah, so that they only one casualty from this explosive decompression of this airplane, which people are talking about why that happened, and it turns out that like every airplane has a number of decompressions it can take, like it's kind of a shelf life, because of course every time you pressurize and depressurize an airplane, then it puts some strain on the fuselage, and it was within the number. I think the number was like, okay, yeah, I have 20,000 or something. Or rather, you can have like a certain number of flight hours before you are considered no longer a valid a plane that should be airworthy. But they had so many short flights that required so many like pressurizations, depressurizations, is in addition to the humid, hot climate of Hawaii they were flying in. You're just flying between two islands, four times a day. That it just weakened the fuselage so much that in flight it just peeled away.
Dang.
And I think that my favorite part about that is that only one person passed away. Well, not only that person, but like
The most
that only nobody else died. Like just that one person who was standing up in the cabin during that.
yeah.
And then of course, some people got like cut up a little bit by shrapnel, from this ceiling that's no longer there. And some people probably suffered from decompression. But yeah, it was an interesting story.
Damn, they must have had a really good view.
Exactly. That would be dope if not for everything else.
Yeah, like after you like get used to like the pain, you kind of like, whoa, this is what birds feel like. Oh damn, this is
Yeah,
sick.
at that point, like you're
few
it's like,
few
please,
eye vessels popped and bleeding
especially
ears.
like you know what normally happens when you lose cabin pressure is you have to do the oxygen mask. The oxygen mask from the
In
ceiling.
the ceiling.
What are they doing? How did they survive that? They just
Yeah, I
what?
mean I think they were able to get low enough that they were able to like breathe. I think that since it was such a
Okay.
short flight, they didn't get as high as they normally do.
They
Okay.
probably dropped altitude really fast as well.
Yeah,
That happened.
slow way down, drop altitude way a lot,
Yeah.
and just try to make it to the nearest airport.
How about you, Dogler? You got any most interesting aviation disasters for you, dog?
No, I just kept thinking about like 7-Eleven, so yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So 7-Eleven was a part-time job.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Have you guys ever seen that the movie Sully?
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah,
I don't think I have no.
favorite actor Tom Hanks. It's about the. Are you familiar with the miracle on the Hudson?
Yeah.
The plane landing on the Hudson River after hitting a bird. Birds
Flying.
hitting. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that would be a second one for me. Mainly because of the movie. The movie was really good, in my opinion, and yeah, interesting.
Yeah, honestly, what a Chad though. Like, imagine you have no training for this whatsoever. You lose 100% of your engines, and you just all right. Well, water anytime, boys.
Yeah, and then get like your like shit handed to you for like the next few weeks to months with the whoever FAA trying to like scrutinize your moves when you just saved everyone on the plane, didn't kill anyone on the ground, and they're trying to like destroy your career. It's just like, man, that's rough. Like the dude's a hero, and you guys are stressing him the hell out, and just making life miserable.
Yeah. Maybe for that year there was a quota for how many good things can happen. They're like, nah, this is too good. This is over the line.
That plane is I think it's in Charlotte somewhere. U.S. Airways. I want to say it's 1543 if I remember right, or 1453, something like that. Um, yeah, interesting show. I did a career. In freshman year of college, I had to, my English class. We had to do a like career exploration thing. And at the time, I was telling myself I was going to be a air traffic controller, and I did mine on the accuracies and inaccuracies portrayed in the movie Sully.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. No longer want to be an air traffic controller. Apparently, it's the most stressful job in the world.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought
like,
it was all run by like computers.
well, I mean, you have like your radar station, but you got people like sitting in the control tower, you know, approving and not approving takeoffs, landings, and whatnot, like that. And you got, how many people on an airplane? 200 at least most of the time. You got to think you got like a lot of people's lives in your hands. I could see why it would be stressful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was I think it was the second most. I was looking up lists of aviation disasters. Apparently, the second most deadly one after 9/11 was caused by some captain or something who was just like didn't quite get like the air traffic controller correctly,
Yeah.
or like left without authorization from the air traffic controller, and yeah, crashed his plane to someone else's plane, and everyone on his plane died, and then like half the people on the other plane died.
Damn.
Damn.
So just imagine
That's
like
that's
you're paying okay,
Breaking
like no
Bad scene.
authorization, but then you look away for just a little bit, and as this plane just slowly drifts up the runway into like this other plane, and then you look back and just there's nothing you can do at that point.
Oh, it was on the ground.
Yeah, something like that. I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
exactly what the deal is.
Thought
Wow.
we had, I thought we had a Breaking Bad moment mid-air
Breaking Bad
collision.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, well, all right, boys. You guys want to call it a show there?
I think we can.
All right.
Yeah. Sure.
RTIQ, Room Temp IQ podcast, episode 5. You guys next week, maybe Sunday, depending on what time the fight is. Yep. Later.
All right.